to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories, a gentle channel of dreamy journeys and soft whispers where your evening is guided toward rest and tranquility. You've arrived here seeking calm, a place where your breath can slow and the day's busyness can begin to dissolve into the hush of night. Soon you will find yourself in the highlands of Bolivia, gazing upon the majestic Andean peaks around La Paz as the golden twilight kisses the city's rooftops. Before we step into that scene, take this moment to breathe deeply, allowing your chest to rise with each inhale and soften with every exhale. Let your shoulders loosen, your jaw unhinge, and any tension melt away like ice under a gentle sun. Feel a warm relaxation radiate throughout your body, as though it were made of soft, glowing embers. You might notice the tender curve of your spine relaxing into whatever surface supports you. You might sense a sweet anticipation for the peaceful journey ahead. Let yourself rest in this calm beginning, content to let the quiet story unfold without hurry. There is no need to analyze or hold on to any thoughts now. You can simply lie back and listen. In the city of La Paz, there is a slow transformation of light that occurs every evening, drawing the gaze of anyone lucky enough to observe it. The day's final hours bring the sun down to the edge of the horizon, casting a warm, golden hue across the sky. Soft, gauzy clouds gather around the tall peaks that stand like guardians over the city. The light illuminates their faces, and the shifting air carries a promise of restful evening breezes. At times the peaks are crowned by gentle swirls of mist, forming delicate halos that shimmer in the waning sunlight. The entire scene becomes a lullaby of sights and sounds, ushering the world into twilight. One late afternoon, as the sun draped itself across the rooftops and narrow streets, a quiet traveler meandered through La Paz's historic center. The traveler was new to this city, an old place perched in a bowl-like valley, surrounded by the rolling altiplano. From every vantage point, the traveler could see bits of life unfolding, bustling markets alive with conversation, winding roads climbing toward the rim of the valley, and always in the distance those grand Andean peaks. Now, as shadows began to stretch, the traveler felt drawn to find a peaceful spot to watch the sun descend. Stepping away from the hum of traffic, the traveler discovered a small street leading upward. Its cobblestones glowed faintly in the slope of daylight, while overhead, tangled wires and fluttering flags danced in a gentle breeze. The traveler listened to the soothing clang of church bells echoing from a nearby chapel, blending softly with distant laughter from children playing. An easy calm enveloped the afternoon. Everything felt slower here. The pace of life was unhurried. Each moment savored like a piece of fruit in the hand. As the traveler reached a modest viewpoint that rose above the rooftops, La Paz spread out in a mosaic of brick houses, lacy balconies, and corners of greenery sprouting between buildings. The mountainous backdrop stood tall and unwavering, illuminated by a warm light that shimmered on the ridges of far-off summits. Clouds gathered in pockets, some drifting languidly, others massed in soft clusters. Where the sun touched them, they turned pastel gold and lilac. Where they stretched into shadow, they deepened to a dusky gray. It was here that the traveler decided to pause. Even the air felt different, thin and cool, carrying with it a faint scent of wood smoke and cooking spices from the winding streets below. There were murmurs of everyday life, drifting upward, yet at this height, a sense of tranquility reigned. Gradually, the hum of the city turned into a steady hush, like the gentle murmur of a distant stream. No single voice or sound could be clearly distinguished. It was all woven together into one quiet lullaby for the evening. Far across the rooftops stood the regal form of Illimani, the mountain that reigns over La Paz. Its multiple peaks seemed to shimmer in the golden hour. Near the summit, a light scattering of clouds clung to the mountain's edges, drifting around like an ever-shifting veil. This gave the appearance of a deity crowned with vapor, serene and dignified, bestowing blessings upon the city below. As the sun continued its leisurely descent, the clouds shifted in color from pale pink to a more pronounced rose gold, painting the horizon in softly blended hues. It was a moment that did not clamor for attention, but rather offered itself quietly, like a gentle invitation to peace. The traveler observed the scene as though listening to a secret whispered by the mountains themselves. At times the breeze tugged at hair and clothing, reminding anyone standing there of the elevation, the height at which the city thrived. Each breath was a reminder that the air was thin, yes, but also remarkably crisp, carrying the faintest aroma of earth and stone. It was a clean scent, purifying in its clarity. The traveler inhaled deeply, feeling the coolness expand in the chest, then softly exhaled, letting all remnants of tension flow out into the open sky. A subtle transformation began to unfold. On the western horizon, the sun dipped lower, its edges skimming the silhouette of the highest ridges. The city below shifted in color and mood. Where once daylight was bright and clear, now a gentle warmth enveloped buildings and streets, turning them into a scene reminiscent of an old photograph. Street lamps blinked on one by one, their glow tentative at first, then strengthening against the growing twilight. The scattered lights looked like tiny candles set against the gently dimming sky. In a neighborhood below, an evening procession appeared, a group of locals in quiet conversation, walking up the slope. They carried paper lanterns that bobbed gently, swaying in time with their steps. The traveler watched them from a distance, entranced by this ordinary yet tender ritual. Conversations and laughter floated on the breeze, merging with the faint strains of guitar music from somewhere farther off. Each sound arrived wrapped in the hush of twilight. It was not a boisterous melody, but rather a slow, meditative refrain, perfect for coaxing the mind toward a place of rest. All the while, the peaks in the distance continued their interplay with the sky. The shifting light painted them first in pale gold, then a deeper amber, until they seemed to glow from within. Those mysterious, wispy clouds remained, rising and falling, drifting around the rocky faces, as though dancing to the rhythm of some ancient lullaby. Now and then, a narrow beam of sun would pierce the cloud layer, highlighting a jagged ridge or a hidden glacier, revealing white slopes that sparkled like crystals. But the brightness was never harsh. It was soft, filtered by the thinning air, tempered by the day's slow retreat. A little time passed, during which the traveler quietly took in each breath, each passing moment, each shift of the sky's palette. The city below seemed to settle into a calm acceptance of night. The playful swirl of conversation and traffic ebbed, replaced by a softer tempo of life. Neighbors exchanging gentle goodnights across balconies, the faint clink of dishes from homes where dinner was being served, the hushed murmur of footsteps returning indoors. This lull in activity harmonized with the traveler's own inner rhythm, guiding thoughts into a place of ease and relaxation. In the traveler's mind, the day's earlier concerns melted away, overshadowed by the serene grandeur of the mountains and the soothing hush of twilight. Even the traveler's heartbeat seemed to slow, synchronizing with the steady flow of dusk that slipped across the valley. The breeze teased the leaves of a nearby jacaranda tree, its purple blossoms barely visible in the shifting light, rustling as though offering a soft applause for the close of day. Now the traveler decided to move to another vantage point, one that overlooked a steep slope of houses descending into the heart of La Paz. Following a narrow path lined with worn stone steps, the traveler passed walls adorned with murals depicting scenes of Bolivian folklore, dancing figures in traditional dress, vibrant birds perched among lush foliage, and swirling patterns representing the country's rich tapestry of cultures. Each mural felt like an echo of the land's spirit, another layer added to the traveler's sense of wonder. When the traveler emerged onto a small terrace, the vista was breathtaking. The city's bowl-like shape was fully on display, filled with the last warm glow of the dying day. A gentle hush seemed to settle over everything, a kind of communal sigh that signaled the promise of night. Far up in the sky, the first stars flickered into being, faint pinpoints that would grow brighter as each minute passed. The traveler stood for a long time, letting the calm spectacle sink deeply into memory. And then, as if on cue, a bank of clouds drifted across the far horizon, tinted with the final brush strokes of sunset's gold and violet. These clouds appeared weightless, gently expanding and shifting in form. One moment they resembled the peaks themselves, mirroring the silhouettes of the range. The next, they formed archways of luminous mist. Occasionally, a gap in the clouds revealed a pocket of deepening blue sky, where the earliest stars sparkled like new ideas waiting to be born. In that space between the traveler and the mountains, the city lights became more pronounced. Golden orbs of illumination lined the roads, weaving through the hills and valleys like threads of a softly glowing tapestry. The hum of evening traffic in the distance was subdued, almost melodic, blending seamlessly with the quiet strum of guitar still emanating from a hidden courtyard. Each note reverberated in the cool night air, as if reminding all who listened that there was no hurry, no need to chase the day any longer. At last, twilight seemed to reach a pinnacle of golden light. The western sky glowed with a gentle radiance that bathed everything in a dreamlike softness. The traveler found a comfortable place to sit, leaning against a stone ledge. Knees drawn close, arms folded gently. From this vantage point, the peaks wore the final beams of sunlight. Like crowns, their edges traced in pale fire, the traveler noticed how the clouds wreathed around one particular summit, swirling and shifting in slow, fluid arcs. Each movement echoed a dance, graceful and unhurried. Something about that motion, about the gentle way clouds caressed the mountain, felt calming to witness. It was as if nature itself was engaged in a gentle lullaby, singing goodnight to the day. Below, La Paz glimmered. Its streets created a patchwork of light and shadow, the gentle clamor of nighttime rituals carrying into the hush of descending darkness. The traveler could almost feel the heartbeat of the city, a tender, rhythmic pulse that aligned with the quiet breath of the mountains. Nothing about the scene was rushed or urgent. It was simply life unfolding in a gentle, measured cadence, guided by the natural rhythms of the earth. As dusk drew nearer to evening, the traveler's gaze fell upon a single candle flickering in the window of a small home perched precariously on a ledge. A silhouette moved behind the glowing window, a family gathering perhaps, or a solitary soul reading under the warm light. The traveler imagined a peaceful interior, walls colored by candlelight, where the hush of the evening brought a sense of closeness and comfort. In many of the surrounding homes, similar scenes likely played out. Quiet dinners, soft conversation, the day's last tasks slowly coming to an end. It was an image of collective rest, of a city drifting into a shared lullaby. Drawing the light sweater closer, the traveler felt the embrace of the Andean chill. It wasn't an uncomfortable cold, rather a bracing, refreshing current of air that made one appreciate the warmth of layered clothes. It spoke of altitude and open skies, a constant reminder of the majestic setting in which the city thrived. High up here, clouds drifted so close they seemed almost tangible, like friendly spirits crossing between mountain peaks. Beyond the city, the traveler's eyes traced the contours of mountain ridges fading into twilight's soft gloom. Each line, each slope, captured in a silent dance of light and shadow. From time to time, an echo of a breeze would brush against the traveler's cheeks, as if the mountains themselves were breathing out a gentle sigh. There was a peaceful acceptance in it all, the day transitioning into night, the mountains continuing their timeless vigil, and the city's inhabitants settling into the lull of evening. Gradually, the vibrant gold of twilight began to transition into a muted lavender, then a deepening indigo, as though the sky were tucking itself into bed. The highest peaks caught the last traces of color, their snowy caps glinting with pale orange, then pink, and finally yielding to a soft gray. The clouds, for their part, drifted along lazily, shape-shifting in the quickly dimming light. Some parted to reveal slices of star-dappled sky. Others remained as faint silhouettes, forming fleeting shapes that vanished just as soon as they appeared. Observing this quiet metamorphosis, the traveler could sense a deep calm settling within. The slow rhythms of the city, the delicate play of shadow on the mountains, and the gentle hush of the passing clouds all wove together into a single tapestry of tranquility. The traveler's thoughts grew soft and unhurried, like leaves gently floating on a pond's surface. Each moment stretched out comfortably, unpressured by the ticking of clocks or the demands of daytime life. Eventually, the traveler rose, deciding it was time to wander back into the winding streets. With steps unhurried and mind at ease, the traveler followed a winding lane that snaked downward toward the heart of La Paz. Low houses rose on either side, their walls painted in pastel blues, yellows, and whites that faded under the soft glow of street lamps. Occasionally, an archway opened onto a small courtyard where potted plants swayed in the breeze. The traveler noticed the fragrant hint of jasmine and sweet herbs carried by the evening air. As the traveler strolled, thoughts drifted to the quiet blessings of nature that had just been witnessed. The graceful shift of twilight over Andean peaks, the dance of clouds embracing their stony slopes, and the gentle hush that enveloped the city. All of it felt like a shared secret, a comfort bestowed upon any soul willing to watch the day give way to the night. The traveler reflected on how, within these moments, there was a release from the demands of the world, a reminder that there is always room for stillness, room for a breath, unencumbered by worry. Soon, a small square opened before the traveler, paved with ancient cobblestones that gleamed under the lamplight. A fountain trickled quietly in the center, its water reflecting the flicker of nearby lights. A bench offered a seat beneath a modest tree, its leaves rustling in response to every passing breeze. Here the traveler rested for a moment, letting the peaceful ambience soak in. The sounds of evening drifted closer. A soft conversation from a nearby cafe, the distant bark of a dog, and the ever-present hushed hum of the city. No tension lingered in the traveler's limbs or mind. Each breath arrived and departed like a gentle tide, washing away any remnants of the day's bustle. After a time, curiosity pulled the traveler toward another corner of the square, where a narrow alleyway led to a courtyard bathed in lantern light. The courtyard was filled with climbing vines and potted geraniums. A small flowing water feature provided a soft, melodic trickle. It was quiet here, only the faint echo of footsteps crossing the stones and the lulling burble of water. High above, the sky had grown deeper in color, stars emerging in greater numbers. The traveler could see them peeking through the partial roof of vines that arched overhead, their points of light mirrored faintly in the water's surface. Leaning against a stone pillar, the traveler took a long, slow breath, eyes half closed, allowing the subtle music of nighttime to work its way into every cell. In that moment, each sense felt attuned to the present. The coolness of the air, the sweet fragrance of flowers, the gentle flicker of lanterns. It was a reminder that the universe holds countless moments of exquisite beauty, often simple and unassuming, waiting to be savored. In such moments, the body softens and the mind releases its grip on chatter and worry. The traveler experienced a profound contentment, as if lulled by the hush of the mountains and the enveloping embrace of twilight. When the traveler finally stirred from this reverie, it was to wander through another quiet lane, guided only by the subtle glow of a few windows still alight. Eventually, these winding paths led to a small lodging tucked away from the main streets. Thick wooden doors opened into a courtyard that boasted a simple fountain and a scattering of potted ferns. The caretaker offered a kind smile and a soft "good night," the voice carrying the comforting warmth of hospitality. The traveler responded with a polite nod, stepping inside to find a humble room lit by a small lamp. Within that room, the walls were painted in calm earth tones, reminiscent of the Bolivian landscape. A window overlooking the courtyard revealed the final traces of day, or perhaps the earliest hush of night. The traveler prepared for rest, feeling the blissful weariness that follows a day spent in wonder. Sliding beneath the covers, the traveler opened the window just a crack to allow the crisp air and soft sounds of the night to enter. There was no hurry to sleep, but also no resistance. A gentle drowsiness crept in, welcomed rather than fought. Outside, a faint breeze stirred the ferns, and somewhere in the distance a night bird called softly. As the traveler's eyes grew heavier, the mind drifted to the image of those peaks at twilight, the gentle gold on ancient rock faces, the halo of clouds shifting like a tender dance, the city lights flickering to life in the valley below. Each memory was like a gentle lullaby. The traveler recalled the perfume of evening flowers, the subdued rustle of distant footsteps, the comforting embrace of the thin Andean air. It all coalesced into one serene tapestry, guiding thoughts ever more steadily toward the threshold of dreams. Night settled in fully, enfolding La Paz in a quiet hush. The skies overhead now revealed a deeper canopy of stars, and the city rested, lulled by the presence of the mountains. Streets that had been busy hours before now lay mostly silent, except for the hushed whisper of a late-night breeze. In that stillness, the traveler's mind found an easy path into sleep. No pressing tasks or worries intruded. Nothing seemed important now but the caress of a cool night air and the gentle memory of twilight's splendor. This peaceful retreat extended beyond the traveler, for any observer of the Andean twilight might experience a similar calm, a sense of surrender to the rhythm of nature. The mountains have stood there for ages, a silent testament to patience and resilience. Their peaks gather clouds like companions, and in doing so, they offer a comforting reminder that everything in life is fluid. Just as clouds shift and dissipate, so do worries and burdens. The night is a time of renewal, a chance to let all that is heavy drift away. Inside that small, warm room, the traveler was no longer actively recalling the day. Instead, the remnants of color, light, and wonder danced at the edge of consciousness, melding with the quiet contentment that settles in the body just before true rest. Each breath came slower now, deeper, carrying the sweet hush of night through every fiber. It was a gentle unraveling of alertness, a soft transition into the realm of slumber. The presence of sleep felt close, like a friendly presence waiting just around the corner. In the courtyard, the tiny fountain continued its melodic trickle. A mild gust of air gently moved through the branches of nearby trees. Even in dream, one might imagine the traveler drifting back to that hillside vantage point, watching clouds swirl around Illimani, the golden rays of sunset dancing along the ridges, until finally fading into the gentle embrace of evening. The city, too, might reappear in dream form, with its countless lights arranged as if in a mosaic, each shining like a promise of rest and renewal. And perhaps, far beyond the traveler's consciousness, the mountains watched over the city, as they have for countless twilights. Each day they serve as steadfast witnesses, receiving the sun's farewell glow and the moon's silent vigil. Their presence is a reminder that there exists a vastness beyond human concerns, a sweep of timeless natural beauty that can cradle the heart and soothe the mind. In that knowledge, one finds an almost effortless exhalation, a letting go of the day's tensions. Now the restfulness deepened. The traveler's limbs felt pleasantly weighted, sinking into the supportive bed as though it were a soft cloud itself. The mind continued to loosen, drifting in and out of the gentle images of twilight. Slowly, those images became more fluid, merging with the comforting darkness behind closed eyelids. The chirp of a distant insect, the whisper of night air, the faint resonance of the world outside, all served as gentle lullabies, coaxing every muscle into a state of surrender. The hush of the mountains joined in, a silent chorus that encouraged rest. As more minutes ebbed away, a profound calm took hold. The hustle of day now felt like a distant memory, overshadowed by the tranquility that blossomed in this nighttime sanctuary. Each passing second was akin to the glow of a candle slowly fading, not with haste, but in a graceful, measured dance toward darkness. Thoughts dissolved into a warm pool of stillness, leaving behind only the gentle murmur of a contented heart. The traveler was not alone in this surrender. The whole city shared the same peaceful hush, the same tender relief that comes with embracing the end of a day. And so the traveler, cradled in that quiet lodging on a hillside in La Paz, sank fully into the depths of sleep. Beyond the window, the mountains stood in silent guardianship, their lofty silhouettes outlined against a star-strewn sky. The last flickers of twilight had long since faded, replaced by the soft luminescence of night. The golden hour was a memory now, but its gentle warmth lingered in the traveler's thoughts, a comfort that would remain upon waking. If one were to peek into that room, they would find only the stillness of a body at rest, breath slow and even, face softened by repose. No flickers of worry or tension disturbed this tranquility. Outside, a lone breeze continued its meandering course across rooftops, rustling the occasional leaf or shutter. The fountain in the courtyard offered its patient rhythm, a companion to the quiet hush. It was as though the entire world had dimmed its lights, shut its eyes, and succumbed to the healing darkness of night. In the streets below, a handful of late wanderers might pass, their hushed voices and footsteps echoing briefly before vanishing into silence. A stray dog might pause at a corner, glancing at the moonlit roads, finding a place to curl up. Somewhere, a tired shopkeeper turned off the last overhead light, secure in the knowledge that morning would come soon enough. This shared lull, this communal surrender to rest, formed a soft tapestry of night sounds and stillness, covering the city with a gentle promise. Dawn's renewal would arrive, but for now, sleep was the only task. Thus, the traveler's evening in La Paz became an embrace of peace. The golden twilight and the wreathed peaks offered their blessing, guiding mind and body toward rest. No weight remained on the chest. No hurried thought chased across the consciousness. In this realm of soft dreams, the Andean mountains drifted in memory, and the swirl of clouds became a soothing lullaby. All was calm, all was well, and the hours of night extended their gentle invitation to slumber. Let your own eyelids grow heavy now. You have listened, you have journeyed, and you too deserve this deep and restful night. Feel how every muscle softens. Notice the gentle rhythm of your breath. It flows in, it flows out, so naturally, so soothingly. There is no rush, no agenda, only the sweet comfort of rest. If a thought arises, it can drift away like a cloud in the sky, melting into the vastness of calm. Let yourself float upon the promise of night, secure in the knowledge that this moment belongs entirely to you and your well-being. Your body, your heart, your spirit, all gather in this sacred quiet, carried gently toward the threshold of dreams. You may linger at the edge for a moment longer, where you may already feel the soft embrace of slumber pulling you in. Allow the softness to surround you like a warm shawl on a cool mountain evening. Let the hush of La Paz's twilight accompany you, the memory of those golden rays shining on distant peaks, the swirl of clouds fading into darkness. This is your time to rest, to find true peace in the depths of night. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well as the hush of the Andean twilight guides you toward serene dreams and gentle renewal. May you find solace in the tender darkness, warmed by memories of a golden horizon and the comforting whisper of clouds. The mountains watch over you, standing silent and tall, guardians of tranquility and harbingers of peace. Let their quiet strength cradle you as you surrender to sleep. Rest now in the calm and comforting arms of night. Good night. Sleep well.